How many times in the last week did you say one of these things? Let me ask you one honest question. I had no choice. It's not my fault. I'll try. No one told me. If you said any of these even once, then this video is going to change your life. Because what I'm about to show you are the 12 doors that people walk through every single day to escape responsibility. And every time you walk through one of those doors, your dreams get further away. Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you will see exactly which doors you use and how to close them forever. Self-awareness is the first step. It is the beginning of everything. When a person begins to look honestly inside themselves, really look, they start to discover parts of themselves that have been hidden for a long time. Some of those parts are beautiful. Some are painful. And that pain? That is exactly why most people stop right there and build a wall. Because every human being wants ease. Every human being runs toward pleasure and away from pain. And what is more painful than looking at yourself honestly? So we avoid it. We deny parts of ourselves. We build walls of self-pity. We wrap ourselves in excuses. But here is the truth that nobody wants to hear. Self-awareness without self-accountability is just daydreaming. You can look inside yourself all you want. But if you never take ownership of what you see, the good, the bad, the ugly, then nothing in your life will change. The word accountability has become almost a dirty word in today's world. In politics, in social media, everywhere, nobody wants to be accountable. But I am here to tell you that accountability is not a punishment. It is a power. Accountability means declaring ownership over yourself. It means saying, I am the ruler of the kingdom of my body and my mind. Every thought that enters this kingdom, every feeling that flows through it, I am responsible. That is not a burden. That is freedom. When you accept that responsibility, something shifts. Your energy becomes focused. Your choices become meaningful. Your results improve. But here is the problem. The path to accountability is not easy. In fact, every single day, 12 different doors appear in front of you, and each one whispers, come in. Relax. It's not your fault. Today, I am going to show you all 12 of those doors. And I promise you will recognize yourself walking through several of them. Are you ready? Let's go. Before we get into door number 1, if this is already making you think, please hit that subscribe button right now. Because every week I put out content that is designed to shake you awake, not put you to sleep. Hit subscribe. Do it right now. It takes 1 second. And it might be the most important second of your week. The 12 doors of escape. Door 1. I had no choice. This is the most popular door. Almost everyone has walked through it. I had no choice. 4 words. Simple. Clean. And completely false in almost every situation. During a group therapy session, a patient looked me in the eye and said almost with sadness, I had no choice but to do drugs. Everyone around me was doing it. There was no other way. That one sentence freed him, in his own mind, from all responsibility for his addiction. Here is what the simplest wisdom in the world tells us. In every situation, we have a choice. The consequences of that choice may be difficult. The options may feel limited. But there is always a choice. In 1986, after the United States bombed Libya, President Reagan stood in front of the world and said, we had no choice. Of course there was a choice. Diplomatic channels had not been fully exhausted. And shortly after the bombing, it was proven that Libya was not even responsible for the terrorist attack that triggered the strike. Did Reagan really have no choice? Or was no choice the easiest story to tell? Think about your own life right now. Think about a situation where you said, I had no choice. Stop for just one moment and ask yourself honestly, was there really no way? Was there truly no alternative? You will be surprised. You will almost always find one. The everyday example, you eat junk food and say, I had no choice, there was nothing else. But you chose not to meal prep. You chose not to plan ahead. The choice was made earlier, you just don't want to look back that far. Door 2. I was out of control, the devil made me do it. I had no control over myself. I was unconscious. I was out of control. This is door number 2. And it is one of the most cleverly disguised excuses there is. I want you to picture this scene. 2 brothers, my elder brother and his wife, are in a fierce argument at home. Voices are rising. Sharp words are flying back and forth. The whole room is charged. Both of them look completely out of control, like they couldn't stop themselves even if they wanted to. And then the phone rings. My brother picks up the receiver. His voice transforms instantly. Calm. Warm. Friendly. Sweet tone. Relaxed face. A completely different human being. He puts down the phone. And within seconds, the same sharp words are back. The same anger. The same out-of-control behavior. Here is the question: was he ever truly out of control? Of course not. The moment an audience changed, his behavior changed. He knew exactly how to be in control. He was choosing not to be, because in that fight, being out of control was easier than being accountable. The everyday example: you lose your temper at a coworker. I couldn't help it, I just snapped. But you don't snap at your boss. Why? Because with your boss, the cost of losing control is too high. That means you can control yourself. You are choosing when to and when not to. Door 3. I don't know. Door 3 has 2 kinds of visitors. There are people who genuinely don't know something, and that is completely fine and honest. And then there are people who say I don't know when deep down, in the quiet of their own heart, they know exactly what the truth is. I had a client, a woman who came to me after 10 years of marriage were falling apart. Her husband wanted a divorce. And when I asked her what she thought had gone wrong, she said again and again, I don't know why he's acting like this. I don't know why his behavior changed. But as we talked, it became clear she did know. She had seen the distance growing for years. She had felt the connection fading. But saying I don't know was safer than saying I ignored it. I didn't invest in my marriage. I let it drift. I don't know is a comfortable shelter. It keeps you from having to face hard truths. Here is a technique I use. When someone tells me they don't know, I ask them, what would you say if you did know? You will be amazed, 80% of people have an answer ready within seconds. They knew all along. They were just hiding behind I don't know. The everyday example: I don't know why I'm not losing weight. But you know you're eating late at night. You know you're skipping workouts. You do know. You just don't want to say it out loud. Door 4. I forgot. There is a very important difference between genuinely forgetting and choosing not to remember. Here is something I have observed in offices and institutions everywhere: people forget about the work tasks they were supposed to complete. They forget about deadlines. They forget about responsibilities assigned to them. But ask them about the day's allowance, about their lunch break timing, about the bonus schedule, and they remember everything. Every single detail. Crystal clear. That is not forgetting. That is selective memory. It is a choice dressed up as an accident. When you decide not to remember something that matters to someone else, or something that would hold you accountable, and then you say I forgot, you are choosing an escape route. Think about this in your personal life. Did your friend forget your birthday, or did it simply not matter enough for them to remember? Is there a difference? Yes. And deep down, you already know which one it is. The everyday example: you forget to follow up with someone you promised to help. But you remembered to check your social media 14 times that same day. Your brain has plenty of memory. It is just choosing what to store. Wait, what I'm about to tell you could change your life forever. Because the next 4 doors? These are the ones that most people walk through every single day without even realizing it. Stay with me. Door 5. I'll try. At a leadership seminar I was running, I made an announcement. I asked for a volunteer to come up and try to take the pen from my hand. A young man walked up, and he grabbed the pen. I stopped him. I said clearly, "I asked you to try to take the pen, not to take it." He understood. And then he did something fascinating. He stood there, reaching toward the pen, moving his hand toward it, shifting his weight, but never actually grabbing it. He was trying. That is what I'll try looks like. It is movement without commitment. It is the appearance of effort without the reality of action. When someone says, "I'll try to come to your dinner party," they are already telling you they probably won't come. When a team member says, "I'll try to finish the report by Friday," don't count on having it by Friday. "I'll try" is not a yes. But it is not honest enough to be a no. It lives in a gray zone of zero accountability. Sometimes a clear no is far more valuable than a half-hearted "I'll try." At least with a no, you can make other plans. With "I'll try," you are left waiting for something that was never really promised. The everyday example: "I'll try to start going to the gym this month." 3 weeks later, no gym. Because try was never a commitment. Commitment sounds like, "I will go to the gym every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Door 6. If. Then. The condition game. This door is dressed up beautifully. It sounds almost reasonable. It sounds like a plan. But it is not a plan, it is a trap. I interviewed a worker at a textile company. He told me confidently, "If my salary is increased, I will guarantee production and quality. Pay me more, and I will perform." Think about that for a moment. He is asking to be rewarded before he has earned it. He is making his excellence conditional on receiving something first. I mentioned this worker to the production manager, without naming him. The manager's response was immediate: "If anyone consistently performs well, I can absolutely increase their salary. Show me the results, and the raise follows." Do you see the gap? The worker was waiting for a reward before performing. The manager was waiting for performance before giving the reward. Both were stuck, because one of them had put up a wall of conditions. I had a client who told me, "Until that woman agrees to marry me, I will remain sad. I will stop caring about my career. I will not move forward in my life." Think about this from her perspective. Who wants to be in a relationship with someone whose happiness depends entirely on another person's decision? When you say, "If this happens, then I will do that," you are making conditions more important than your goals. You are handing your power to someone else. Remove the conditions. Go directly toward your goals. Make them your own, not something that requires another person's action first. The everyday example: "If I had a better job, I would be happier." No. Happiness is a decision. A better job may come after you decide to be more engaged, more productive, and more proactive, not before. Door 7. Nobody told me. A young boy came home from school looking upset. When I asked what was wrong, he said, "Nobody told me about the stage play today. Everyone else was prepared, but nobody told me." I asked, "Did the other children know about it?" He said, "Yes. Everyone else knew. So the information existed. Other people had it. He simply had not taken responsibility for making sure he had it too." This same pattern repeats in offices, in careers, in relationships every single day. My boss never told me what I needed to improve for my promotion. But if your career matters to you, if your future matters to you, why are you waiting for someone else to deliver that information? Here is the truth: no one is going to prioritize your growth the way you should. Your boss has 30 other responsibilities. Your company has 100 other concerns. If you are waiting to be told what you need to do to succeed, you may wait forever. What would happen if you tracked your own performance? What would happen if you went to your boss and said, "Here's my assessment of my work this month, my strengths, my weaknesses, my goals. What is your feedback?" That one action would set you apart from 95% of people in any organization. Do not wait to be told. Take charge of knowing. The everyday example: the gym trainer never told me I was doing the exercise wrong. But you could have asked. You could have watched videos. you could have paid attention to why you weren't seeing results. The information was available. You just waited for it to come to you. Right now, pause for just 5 seconds. In the comments below, I want you to write down which door you walk through most often. Is it I had no choice? I forgot. Nobody told me? Write it down. Right now. Because the moment you name it, you start to close it. Go ahead. I will wait. We are halfway through the 12 doors. And here's what I need you to understand. Every single one of these doors feels perfectly reasonable from the inside. That is why they are so dangerous. Let's keep going. Door 8. It's not my fault. A survey was conducted inside a prison. Researchers asked prisoners one question: do you believe you are responsible for the crime that brought you here? Only 3% said yes. 3%. Out of an entire prison population, only 3 out of every 100 people accepted that they had played a role in their own situation. I spoke to one of those prisoners, a man serving time for robbery. I asked him how he ended up there. He said, without any trace of guilt, it was not my fault. We had agreed that if the police came, my partner would warn me. He didn't. He ran away and left me. I am in here because of his betrayal. He answered with complete innocence. In his mind, the robbery was someone else's idea. The plan was someone else's failure. His presence in that bank was someone else's responsibility. Now, that is an extreme example. But ask yourself honestly, how different is this from the excuses you make? My relationship failed because of them. My business failed because the market was bad. I didn't get promoted because my boss doesn't like me. Every time you put the fault on someone else, you close the door to learning. Because if it's their fault, you don't need to change. You don't need to grow. You just need to find better people around you. But here's a better question to ask yourself: what is my part in this? What can I learn from this situation? What can I do differently next time? That single shift, from blame to learning, can change the entire direction of your life in an instant. The everyday example: your team project fails. It wasn't my fault, my teammates didn't pull their weight. But did you communicate clearly? Did you check in? Did you ask for help when things were going wrong? Somewhere, there is a part that belongs to you. Door 9. That's not my job. A friend and I were having dinner at a restaurant that was well known, unfortunately, for poor service and bad food. That evening, the food arrived cold and in portions that were less than described on the menu. I called over the nearest waiter and politely mentioned the issue. His response, and I will never forget this, was, "That's not my department." I looked at my friend and said, "Now we understand why this restaurant is failing." In great organizations, truly great ones, there are no invisible walls between departments. There's no task so small or so outside someone's role that a good person would ignore it. Everyone takes ownership. Everyone sees a problem and asks, "What can I do about this?" But most people carry an invisible sign around their neck that says, "This is not my job." And that sign costs them more than they will ever realize. It costs them promotions. It costs them respect. It costs them relationships. Think about your own life. In your home, at your workplace, in your community, what are the tasks you have been ignoring because they feel outside your responsibility? What have you lost because you didn't step up? What would change if you took that invisible sign off and threw it away? The everyday example: you see trash on the floor near your desk at work. You don't pick it up. That's for the cleaning staff. But if a client walks in and sees it, it reflects on everyone, including you. Ownership has no job description. 3 more doors. These last 3 are perhaps the most subtle, and therefore the most dangerous. Because they hide behind something that sounds like wisdom. Pay close attention. Door 10. I can't. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right." When you say "I can't," your mind accepts that as fact. And then it works day and night to prove you right. It looks for every piece of evidence that confirms your inability. It shuts down creativity. It stops searching for solutions. But here's what is really happening most of the time: when someone says I can't, they mean I probably won't. Or they mean I don't want to try because I might fail. Think about the statements you make about yourself. I can't write. I can't exercise. I can't do numbers. I can't change. Now ask yourself honestly, is it that you truly, physically, biologically cannot do this thing? Or is it that you have never tried hard enough? Or that you are afraid of what will happen if you try and still fail? There is a very important difference between can't and don't want to. One is a closed door. The other is a choice, and choices can be changed. I hear this from managers and executives all the time: I don't have the authority to make this decision. But in most cases, they do have the authority. What they lack is the sense of ownership. They are waiting for permission to do something they already have the right to do. Stop saying I can't. Start saying I haven't yet. Or better still, start saying I will. The everyday example: I can't learn to cook. You've never tried to learn. You watched one YouTube video, burned one dish, and decided it wasn't for you. That's not can't. That's gave up after round 1. Door 11. I am just like this. I am just like this. This is who I am. I don't need to change. This is the 11th door. And it is perhaps the most comfortable of all, because it wraps the escape in identity. It makes the excuse feel like self-acceptance. But there's a difference between accepting yourself, truly, honestly, with love, and using your identity as a shield against growth. Human beings are like fruit on a tree. We are either growing, or we are rotting. There is no standing still. There is no staying exactly as you are forever. Time moves. The world moves. And if your perspective, your habits, your thinking, and your character remain frozen, you are falling behind, even if you feel like you are staying in place. People who hold this attitude, I am just like this, become obstacles. Not leaders. Not partners. Not collaborators. Obstacles. Others begin to work around them rather than with them. They are assigned tasks instead of trusted with responsibilities. And the worst part? They often do not see it happening. They are so certain that they are just like this that they cannot see how their locked position is pushing them backward on the journey to success. Growth is not optional. It is the only alternative to decay. The everyday example: I'm just not a morning person. Maybe that's true right now. But people change sleep schedules all the time when they have a good enough reason. I am just like this really means I haven't decided this is worth changing yet. Door 12. Let's see what you can do, the Spectator. This is the last door. And it belongs to the most dangerous kind of person in any room, the silent skeptic. In one of my leadership seminars, a gentleman leaned back in his chair with his arms crossed and said to me, "Let's see how you change thoughts and behaviors. Let's see what you can do. Show me." By saying that, he had placed all responsibility for his own transformation on me. He had arrived as a spectator. He was there to be entertained, not to participate. And if the seminar failed to transform him, in his mind, it would be my failure, not his. This same pattern plays out in relationships every day. There are people who enter partnerships, romantic, professional, personal, with their arms crossed. They withhold warmth. They withhold effort. They withhold vulnerability. And then, when things go wrong, they say with a proud and satisfied expression, "I knew it. I told you it wouldn't work." They were never truly in the game. They were watching from the stands, waiting for failure so they could say they predicted it. Behind every event in your life, in some way, you have a hand. The question is not whether you played a role, you did. The question is whether you are willing to own it. The everyday example: you join a new team at work and immediately decide they are disorganized. You don't offer ideas. You don't contribute energy. 3 months later, the team fails, and you say, "I knew this wasn't going to work." But what if your participation, your real, full, invested participation, would have been the missing piece? 12 doors. 12 escape routes. Each one designed to protect you from the pain of accountability. But here's what I need you to understand, and I need you to really hear this. Escape is always temporary, but the consequences are permanent. Every time you walk through one of those doors, you are borrowing time. You are delaying a reckoning. And the longer you delay it, the heavier it becomes. Because there will come a day, I promise you, there will come a day, when you have to face the core of your own making. And by then, the price will be much higher. You cannot force others to be accountable. But you can influence the world around you by holding yourself to a higher standard. When you become a person of accountability, others begin to respond differently. They trust you more. They respect you more. They want to work with you, be close to you, follow you. Self-accountability is not just a moral concept. It is a practical strategy for getting exactly what you want from life. When accountability becomes your habit, your daily way of living, something extraordinary happens. You stop blaming others for your circumstances. You stop waiting for permission. You stop making excuses. And you start making moves. You take charge of your thoughts. You take charge of your feelings. You take charge of your choices. And regardless of what happens around you, regardless of other people's actions, the economy, the system, the circumstances, you remain focused on one question: what can I do right now to move toward a better result? That is power. Real power. You are the ruler of the kingdom of your body and mind. Every resource inside that kingdom, your intelligence, your energy, your creativity, your time, is yours to use. It was given to you. It is your responsibility to use it fully, wisely, and boldly. Prove yourself a worthy ruler. Take command. Start living with full responsibility, and watch how the sky of success begins to fall at your feet. Now let me ask you one last honest question. Which of these 12 doors do you walk through most often? Write it in the comments. Name it. Because the moment you name it, you begin to close it forever. And remember, if you are thinking right now, I don't have time to comment, congratulations. You just found door number 13. CTA 3. If this video hit you, if even one of those 12 doors made you stop and think, then please share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Not tomorrow. Today. One share could change someone's entire direction in life. And if you want to go even deeper, the next video is waiting for you right now. It is about the one habit that the most successful people in the world share. Click it. Watch it. And keep going. Your best chapter is still ahead.